Welcome, everybody. This is the first edition of Salute to Industry with Vet Jobs, and here we are featuring SunSpec and Cyber Guardians. Is that correct? Tom, I want to make sure that's correct because there's the Alliance as well. I wasn't sure how to position that accordingly, but SunSpec, Cyber Guardians, correct?
That's right, yeah. So the SunSpec Alliance, we are a trade alliance, and our objective is to establish communication standards for distributed energy. And that's a mouthful, but that means is that we're bringing data communication technology to the energy business to expand the size of the market. And so one of the initiatives that we have is called Cyber Guardians. Cyber Guardians is an initiative to train people coming out of the military and in other walks of life for jobs in the energy business, and specifically focusing in on the topics that we know about: data communication, cybersecurity, and networking, and how that's going to affect the overall energy marketplace.
Now, you've got quite the history in the space, a long history in the space. How has that evolved for you to, now you've been with the Alliance, I think almost a decade.
11 years, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. I mean, so this is a lot of, security for infrastructure, energy infrastructure,
sure.
And probably ever increasing time since 9/11. Obviously, that's just getting bigger and bigger with us. So
Sure.
Here we've got Anthony, who's actually a veteran, Navy veteran, who's in the program. And then Anthony, can you talk a little bit about what attracted you to this opportunity and what's going on in the program? You're actually just in the program, correct?
Sure. Yeah, I just started the program. I'm taking the introduction to distributed energy and resources. So this is my first exposure to it. So far, it's great. I did come in knowing something about the energy sector. I mean, I used to work at a national DOE national lab. However, what's great about this class, just like these Navy classes, they break it down right from the beginning and fill in all the holes. So I'm already finding the benefits, even though I'm halfway through the first class, being able to, understand every industry has its own jargon and words and policies. So it's been great.
Anthony, what advice would you have for other veterans that might be looking to get into the program?
So I feel that this is a great introduction at any level because it's canvassing a lot of different aspects of the energy sector. So even if you're new to the energy sector, it's walk right up. It's very, the onboarding is real straightforward, easy. And so for other veterans, I think that you have a lot of transferable skills you might not recognize. And with a small amount of even this introduction course that I'm taking may be sufficient to allow you to enter into this sector.
Now, let's log back over to Tom real quick. With the 60 companies in the Alliance, that's got to put you across multiple states. What kind of opportunities are out there on the tail end of these types of training programs and kind of like the mobility for people and opportunity for people around you, especially in today's climate?
Well, we actually have over 120 companies in the Alliance. So
I have to add it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been growing pretty rapidly, and they're located all over the globe. And so in terms of the opportunities in this country, solar, wind, renewable energy, it's a 50-state deal. And so this is, I think, one of the attractions for veterans who obviously live in all 50 states. Then some people, maybe they want to travel and go somewhere else. Maybe they want to stay right at home. And there's really room for everyone. Now, the Cyber Guardians program itself, we are tending to focus in on the new technologies that are coming into the field, specifically data communication, information processing, and cybersecurity. And so these are our skills that are needed up and down the different types of jobs. Certainly, engineering is an important field, also operations and asset management, but even on down to the blue-collar jobs, the installation jobs, and so forth. Here we're introducing a new requirement, which is secure communication networks need to be installed every place. And so it would end up being types of jobs. So if you're more vocationally inclined, that that we have something there for you as well. The main thing that all these different fields of endeavor hold in common is what Anthony referred to, is there is a specific culture, there's a specific language that one needs to learn in order to be successful in the field, just like any industry. So I would encourage veterans to have take a lot of faith and stock in the skills that you've already acquired. What the solar industry hiring managers say is they love working with veterans. Why is that? Veterans are disciplined, they show on time, and there's no BS. And the industry loves that about you. Now, what they don't like about the applicants they get is quite often they lack the domain skills. And so that's where Cyber Guardians can help you, is to fill in those blanks.
And that's been the fit with our program in the soft skill department, right? And the certs and the certifications and these trainings. And we see a lot of industry moving in that direction. Not in all, right? You're not trending away from a degree, but these soft skills are really coming into play as it's going to be hyper competitive in the markets to come. You know, with the job loss that's out there. I mean, these things are really giving you a lift against the competition. Is that correct?
No question. No question. Now, also specifically for the next generation coming up, I mean, they were born digital, right? So you can almost not avoid knowing something about computing, and so that gives a heck of a leg up as well, because the computing industry, it's pervading society. The energy sector is just the last sector to succumb to the information revolution, but it's happening now. So between that combination of soft skills and what you already know, again, don't be afraid. Jump on in.
Tom, how have you guys found yourself to be a great fit for veterans?
Well, so why have we been a great fit for veterans?
Yeah, how did you get into this space?
Sure. Well, I would say that, well, as was mentioned, so I've been in the energy business now for about 11 years with SunSpec. It actually predates maybe a couple of years before that as well. And I've always worked with lots of different companies up and down the supply chain. And well, just notice who we're hiring and who sticks around. And in a veteran profile, it usually is a pretty good one. This is a complex area. It requires a lot of independent thinking. If you're in a field job, you often don't have a lot of support. You're expected to basically, follow orders and carry out the maneuver. And if things don't go your way, then you need to figure out a way around it. And those are all very important skills for people to have. And so when we started the Cyber Guardians program, just thinking about this whole concept of swords to plowshares, the military as well is one of those like so-called industries, right, that's being subsumed by information technology. And so just looking at what people are being trained in and plus the soft skills that they bring, I thought, well, this is actually a pretty darn good fit. People have the temperament and they're having a lot of the training that they're taking by virtue of being in the military that's applicable. What they lack is a little bit of that domain expertise and that vocabulary that's required to bring all these great attributes that they have together. So
well, I think Anthony's a great example of that. Anthony, you don't have like a hard coded background in IT or cyber, and you're coming into a new industry. In the training, since you're in the training right now, real time, like what have you found to be the most valuable thing, knowing that you've come from that, what's the right framing, that you're not the typical cyber guy, like you're not that cyber guy,
Yeah, I didn't grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what I think one of the key benefits is it's allowing me to see the big picture. But at the same time, delivering those, as Tom had pointed out, some of these specific skill sets that are needed and expected of you. It's and having someone walk you through it and put a curriculum together. It's like wearing a uniform, right? You don't have to think about it. You put it on and you can move. You can march right through. So Yeah, I'm finding it fantastic that way. As I said, I'm new to the program as well, and having just the understanding the industry and what the specific filling in these things that I'm missing, I found invaluable already and already benefits when I have conversations with people in the sector. So, but was there another point that you were looking for?
No, I wanted to make the relation that, don't necessarily have to have that cybersecurity or IT background, because we see tons. I mean, we've got hundreds of people coming out of the military that we deal with all the time here at Vet Jobs, and traditionally they might be an IT guy or who's done framework or in the cybersecurity space inside of there with the intelligence community,
right.
And those guys are, you would think traditionally like they're the natural fit, right, to move into this.
And
type of
I think they are.
Yeah.
At the same time, and I'll defer to Tom to talk. I think the program it has a broader applicability. For
Right.
instance, for myself, I may not choose to go into coding and be specific like that. But even for someone who's broadly looking at business development or some other area, these courses are very applicable and take those partnership, public-private partnership skills that can be very applied here as well with that. So again, I'd defer to Tom for how the program can help a broader range, but I see it very applicable even to the non-coder or someone who does want to get more into that technical coding direction.
One quick snippet to add to that. We've seen hundreds of thousands of resumes come across, but traditionally, surprisingly, over 60% of the people don't really work in the same capacity that they did inside of the military. There's often, more times than not, a pivot in their direction. Whether it's being something new or experiencing or interest change or opportunity at the same time that's afforded to them, because they typically migrate back towards a home base where they came from or where family might be moved to, so that could limit opportunity as well. But more times than not, somebody's using these certifications and trainings because they want to gain traction in a new industry. And I mean, Tom knows this, you guys know this, cybersecurity is a hot ticket right now, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like military people are a lot like graduating college students, right? They get to the end of the line and then figure out they want to do something different, or they need to do something different. Right?
Yeah.
The job is not available for them to carry on. And hey, like you said, they've got lives and families that they need to take care of, and there's a ton of jobs here. The statistic is before the COVID hit, the solar industry alone had about 260,000 people working in the sector. I dare anybody compare that particular stat with any other energy sector in terms of employment, and adding new requirements for people, 10, 20, 30% per year growth. So when you combine that with the fact that the American educational institution is not cranking out people with the right technical backgrounds when they're coming out of a 4-year program, what's happening is a lot of people, whether they're graduating college students or people that are getting out of the military, are finding it's like, hey, if I want a job, I should go to where the jobs are, and there's a lot of jobs in this field. But you have to bring your skills up to speed, which means you have to apply yourself, right? So it's not going to be straightforward. But again, why military? People with military background, they know what it means to stick to something and to accomplish the mission, and that's what it's about.
Is there a certain spot you're looking to hire and that you're seeing the growth happening?
The growth is coming across the board. So, for those that track the finance markets or media, Bloomberg anticipates that roughly 2/3 of new energy installations over the course of the next 20 years are going to be in either solar or wind. And by the time we get to the outer part of that, we start to get closer to 100%. The source of supply, the wind and the sun, It's unlimited. It's free. Makes perfect sense. It's clean. It's available everywhere, even in northern climes. I know people are surprised when I say places like Minnesota, hey, they're great for sun because, hey, the sun shines there and it reflects off the snow as well. And all that is energy that can be captured. So it's across all 50 states and it's across every continent on the globe. I mean, this is not just a US thing. So people that have a bug to travel, if they want to go work in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, those are all possibilities. Now, what jobs? Certainly the biggest sector of jobs in this business have to do with the construction of new plant and equipment. So probably 2/3 of the jobs are in those fields. And along with that comes some operational jobs as well, asset management, maintenance, planning, and so forth. Now, and those jobs are good paying. The remaining third of jobs, of course, are spread across manufacturing, finance, business development, and so forth. Those are even higher paying, engineering, and there's voids everywhere. So what we're finding, even with where we're at now, dealing with the 120 member companies, is that we're retooling existing employees to have these new skills because they're not filling the jobs fast enough. Now, COVID's put a damper on that. However, we're going to get out of this thing sooner or later. And when that happens, we're still going to be right in the middle of an energy crisis. We're going to need more of it. And furthermore, we're going to be further down the line in terms of the electrification of society. So people don't think about it, but what's happening in certainly electric vehicles, yes, that sounds like a trendy California thing. But long haul trucking, buses, all that stuff is going electric. And because of the economics.
Oh yeah, but it's a race to see who's going to get the semi market. I mean, there's only the two out there really that are bubbling it up, but
Yep.
Tesla is definitely the forefront of that. But I mean, that industry, which is also a partners of ours, is also hurting for drivers, and so that's a big market coming up right now. And there's always the global pressure for clean energy, right? I mean, that's never going to go away. So you're in a very insulated industry.
Yeah, it's a fun industry to be in because, hey, I'm a mission-driven guy myself. I mean, I got into this thing because I wanted to do something that would be significant for society. And so this is one thing that you can say about being involved in the renewable energy industry. We don't have any bad days, right? The sun comes out and we're generating electricity and we're electrifying and providing energy to places that you would never think of. And so it absolutely fundamentally changes people's lives, having this availability of electricity where they need it. And it's, I can say for my own self, it changed my life. I have a better outlook about what I wake up and do every day because I can see what a difference it makes for folks.
Yeah, just one's personal footprint. I mean, I've become more conscious of that over the years as I've gotten older myself, right? Which, let's do a wrap here. I mean, I think we've touched on a lot of things. Is there any parting thoughts that you guys have for veterans? That's who our audience is going to be. They could be watching this across social channels, YouTube channels. We're going to be driving the traffic to it. Some aspiring veterans who want to come into the industry of cybersecurity, IT, solar. Here's your chance. Some parting words.
I guess I would add. Oh, sure. I would add. There's a few different groups out there. Myself being further along in my career, I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to participate. And given the breadth of skills, I feel that it's a broad, as Tom was saying, it's a very broad and growing field. So great. But at the same time, I've encouraged my nephews, both of them. Some of them are just clearly the right fit, but some of them are still one of them's in the military and greatly benefiting to think that he could get out of the military and be well positioned for a role here. So in terms of veterans, but also people who will be veterans, this is a great program, and you don't have to wait till you're out of the military, I guess is what I'm saying. as well. So, but both the folks that are out, like myself, and retired, I think it's a great opportunity.
And Tom, we'll leave it with you, and feel free to talk about some motorcycle stuff offline. But
Sure.
with you guys partnering with Vet Jobs, you're in our skills build training facilities. That's where we're pushing people into.
Sure.
Please tell us a little bit about that lasting relationship that we have, and kind of what that experience is like for somebody coming out. And you can close this up if you will, please.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, well, the relationship with the Vet Jobs has been awesome for us. It's our big challenge is, hey, how do we connect with the veteran audience, right? We're energy and computer geeks, right? We don't really have a lot of exposure into what's happening in veteran fields. So that's been awesome. What advice I would offer to veterans that are looking at this as an opportunity is, first of all, trust the training that you already have. You have skills that are highly valuable to the energy industry right now. Secondly, if you're going into one of these specialties, yes, you're going to have to take multiple courses. If you already have some of those specialty skills and what you're missing is just the domain specific stuff, maybe 1-2 courses is all you need to take just to get the lingo down, and you're ready to go. And one of the things that we can guarantee you is that for qualified applicants, we can put you in front of hiring managers. We have 120 of them, 120 companies, in our roster. And we got this program started because they asked us to. They could see what was happening is that the growth of the industry would be stymied unless we had the right workers to make it all happen. So jump on board. Nothing to worry about, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And there is a lot to gain by being involved in this business. So we encourage you to join.
Well, we love the partnership. We appreciate the corporate support and leveraging what we do as a charity organization, because that's exactly what we do is we help them understand what certifications you can stack together, what kind of mobility that gives you in the industry. And we look for partner companies just like yourself. Getting people's resume to the hiring manager is always the challenge in the employment market. Everybody who's been faced with looking for a job knows that. I mean, you're just pushing these things out there, right? But it's your network that's going to get that done. And we love the opportunity that we have with you guys, and that we could help bring people that are interested and help, get them to the place they need to be to where they can be hired. It's a great relationship that we have with you guys at SunSpec, and we appreciate you guys taking the time today. Anthony, Tom, very much appreciate the time. And anybody that has last words, that's a wrap for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Well,
you,
thanks
guys.
for being part of the first inaugural
Yes.
Salute2Industry.